Follow the Money. I'm China Barachina. Here we uncover the stories and strategies of how money really moves. My guest today is one of the most respected young economists in the country. You have seen him break down how Filipinos spend, how confidence shifts, and why our habits matter just as much as our income. He holds a PhD in economics, spent years doing policy research at PIDS, and works on projects that shape how we understand consumer behavior, tourism, and the real drivers of growth. But today, we talk about something people rarely ask him. Not the forecast, not the models. We ask him about his own life. How does an economist in his 30s plan his money? How does he build wealth while living through the same pressures every young Filipino feels? And what habits helped him get to where he is today? This is the personal side of John Paolo Rivera, and I think many of you will see your own story in his. Hi, Paolo.
Hi, good afternoon, China. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, thank you for being with us today. And this is going to be a different light of yours. And I know that a lot of people, knowing your background, we have talked about it. I know that there are a lot of Filipinos, young professionals who will be able to relate that napagdaanan na rin pala yun ni Paolo. So you grew up studying people's behavior around money. What shaped your own early beliefs about money before you became an economist?
Well, when I was younger, when I was still studying economics, my money behavior is like a typical teenager, a typical young adult, that when money comes, it has to be spent somewhere, which was so consistent with how I studied economics before, wherein money earned should be money spent, and money spent is the money that you earn.
And when it comes to like your first job, what surprised you most about managing your own income versus the economics principle you have studied?
Well, managing your own money, managing your own income is totally different from how it is being portrayed in textbooks or in school, because in the academic scene, an individual is considered to be rational, meaning knowing what he wants, what he needs, and where you should be spending your money on. But in reality, it's totally different because, for example, the birthday of your cousin, the sudden gimmick, the sudden barkada invitation would come in, which is what I call unprogrammed, if I may call it that way. It's unscheduled, so it would really affect the way you manage money because of the sudden changes in the external situation, which are prompted to respond to. And as a younger individual, there's a tendency really to give in to a bit of peer pressure.
Okay, so when you were encountering that peer pressure, how much did you spend that is out of your budget already when you were probably starting?
Well, probably starting, this is actually a confluence of financial literacy and at the same time, the pressure of pakikisama.
Okay.
Right? And being at that age, being as young as that person, you would tend to actually spend beyond your means, beyond your budget because of that pressure of pakikisama, which is very rampant in many young individuals.
And then you study spending patterns. Walk us through yours and how do you plan each month as an economist in his 30s?
So learning economics and having undergone that really bad practice, wag niyo pong tularan, okay. Having studied economics actually gave me the idea, the discipline to be able to manage. Because in economics, it's always all about management. So it really taught me the science behind managing, while at the same time blending in what's actually happening on the ground. Like for example, you need to make certain decisions.
Yes.
And that decision will be affecting not only your today, but also your tomorrow. So with that in mind, you are becoming more prudent, if I may say, or being more responsible. But actually, this one comes with age. And as it comes with age, you're actually now being positioned in a place of sometimes of privilege.
Yes.
So that's why responses would now be different, and responses would be different with relative to another age group.
In terms of like you commute daily, di ba, JP? And when you were young and you were still starting, ang hirap naman that you go taxi every day or you drive a car. How do you manage that yung day-to-day allowance when you were still starting? Because I know, right, you have grown so much here and it's gonna be like really far. But those who are starting can probably want to hear your story on that. And how did you start building that from that point of view?
Well, I mean, riding the public transportation, then sometimes you have a presentation that you have to look like a human being to appear in a presentation.
Yeah.
So you'd really be forced to take a choice between a public transportation, which is a lot affordable, and a service transportation, which is quite expensive, but would get you to the place, to that point, in full, right?
Yeah.
in one piece, in one piece. But then it will actually teach you now what schools are teaching about budgeting. And with budgeting, it is being emphasized to every one of us to always stick to the budget, be realistic. And with that, it actually grounds you. Having a budget grounds you, and having some expectations about your future income streams, or let's say cash flows, would actually ground you, because it will now allow you to be able to spend within that particular means. And the story will become different if you have possibilities of borrowing. But in today's age, right? I mean, in recent years, borrowing tends to be very tricky because not many people would like to actually lend money nowadays.
But in your case, like, how many income streams do you have on your first few years? And if it's only one, if it's only your job, how did you grow it into multiple streams?
Well, I started with just one job. But that job actually taught me to look for other streams of income, because I was, let's say, a part-time worker during the time. No?
So, is this a student and a part-time worker?
Because I was taking my graduate school, and I had to study and work at the same time to finance my personal expenditure. And that's actually taught me something, that a single source of income will never be enough. And as we age, our lifestyle will also inflate, if I may say. Our preferences would also change, which would demand additional financial resources. And it will actually prompt you to look for additional sources of income to be able to satisfy your needs and wants.
And did someone teach you where to go, what income stream to have or to add? Or is it something that you saw out of a demand? So is it another job? Is it a business? How did you go about it, like adding your income stream?
This was the time when I started entering into investments, particularly in the stock market, because those were the years wherein the online stock brokerage becomes famous.
Okay,
So,
the online or ano pa,
the
traditional?
online,
Okay.
the online, meaning investing in the stock market became so accessible to everyone with a very reasonable starting capital.
Yeah, hindi na yung tumatawag.
You don't have to call, no?
Yeah.
Just deposit the minimum. I started with 5,000 pesos during the time. And at 5,000 pesos, I was able to play around. I would say play around because it was the young individual trying to be very risky.
Okay.
But the risk that we're talking about here was 5,000 pesos. So if I lose 5,000 pesos, it's not really that it will change my again, I'm standing from a point of privilege here.
Of course.
Yeah, because that 5,000 pesos, the starting capital, was from my salary, from my first job. So I invested it, played around with it, made losses, made gains.
That 5,000 pesos, or you added as you go along?
I added as I go. So whenever I gain from the stock market, whenever I sell my profitable stocks, I reinvest it and continue the game. I was treating investment during that time as a game. But I realized that after some years, it's not really growing as fast as it should.
Okay.
Maybe there was something wrong. And I just realized that the mistake there was that I entered into a particular investment venture without the proper knowledge without the technical skills during that time. And then all of a sudden, I encountered this slide. It's actually a slide from a presentation I watched in school, wherein, as a young individual, investment should actually start from the less risky. So if imagine there is a pyramid, and on top of it would be the riskiest ventures or investments that you would take. You should actually start from the base. Similar to Maslow's hierarchy. Apologies for being very technical about it.
It's okay. So you started with stocks at 5,000, and then you reinvested the earnings. Did you add out of your pocket, and how frequent are you adding? I mean, for the viewers to just picture how should be the behavior, or what was the behavior that you did during that time?
Well, the 5,000 pesos actually came from my salary. It's hard-earned money. So the lesson that it's teaching me that you actually lost your hard-earned money by investing or venturing into something you were not skilled. You were not very familiar with. So it taught me a lesson that I think I need to do something different. And that is where I go back to the base of the pyramid, because investment should actually start by investing in yourself. Investing in your proficiency, in your skills. And I think I just did that when I entered graduate school and I was enrolling in different, well, in the term today, it's called micro-credentials now. Attending trainings on stock market trading, on technical analysis, fundamental analysis.
So in
I was
short,
investing on myself.
you got out of the stock market, or you didn't touch it and then ventured to some trainings that you have undergone?
I just left my stocks. Loss or gain, I just left it there. Anyway, it's paper gain or it's paper loss until I liquidate it. So I started investing on myself, attending trainings, getting familiar with the risk that I am facing.
How long was the study period?
It took me around a year to familiarize it. So for 1 year, my portfolio was kind of frozen, I may say. But it's actually gaining some very small amount of dividends.
Because
It's
that
still a
was
gain.
a bull market during that time.
It is, it is.
So no, the moment that you, when did you start really building? What's the next asset that you build after stock market?
Well, after the stock market, I continued beefing up on my liquidity because
Cash
I
flow.
learned from school that cash is king. I don't know if this is still true in today's time.
Maybe gold is king now.
Maybe gold is king, but I mean, cash is king.
Yeah.
So I started to build on liquidity so that I'm able to have that leverage to be able to choose which particular portfolio will I be building.
All right, so there are a lot of inputs right now, but we're just warming up. Follow the Money returns after a short break. Welcome back to Follow the Money. Still with us is John Paolo Rivera, Senior Research Fellow of PIDS. So, Paolo, you have given me a lot of inputs, and I think the viewers have already been, taking notes of that. But we all know that a lot of young Filipinos rather, struggle with impulse spending, especially with the 11-11, 10-10, With that behavior, what tricks would you recommend to be able to control it? Like the spending habit, the overspending habit.
The impulse buying is actually a very dangerous activity. And personally, I apply the 48-hour rule, which I think some people have heard it already. So I really wanted to buy something. I don't need it, I just want it. So I would leave it for 48 hours, think about it, walk around, think about it for 48 hours, and if the urge to buy it, the interest actually dissipates, I don't think it is for me.
It was just an impulse of liking it.
It was an impulse buy, which is actually very dangerous because, again, it's unprogrammed.
Yeah.
it is unbudgeted.
So as you discipline yourself, what is that one monthly habit that you think more Filipinos should adopt because it is making a big difference in your own finances?
Again, in responding to that question, I'm standing from a point of privilege. I would really recommend everyone to track the cash flow, not just the cash, it's the cash on hand itself. Because when you track your cash flow, you actually know where the money is going.
Yeah.
Where is it coming from? Where is it going? And by simply knowing the sources and uses of your money, you will be able to manage it well.
And how do you track it? Like, do you use Excel? Do you use an app these days? How do you track it personally?
Well, personally, until now, because I really don't have time to really imagine for every receipt that I will get, I'm going to record it. I mean, in my mind, I know that I already spent something like this, at this amount. So there is this control now that within this day, I only have this much money to spend, and I'm already spending this much. Then I start to manage it, to control the spending.
All right. So you often talk about confidence and decision making. What was one financial decision that scared you, and how did you work through it?
Okay. It was scary to really play around with money during the pandemic
Okay, tell us
because
about this.
jobs were uncertain during the time. You don't even know if you will still have a job during and after the pandemic. But the external environment during that time was very favorable. Like for example, if you really wanted to make investments in real estate, residential land, condominiums were kind of affordable during the time, and developers were very generous with their discounts and even payment terms. They were
Okay.
very flexible during that time. And theoretically speaking, it's actually a signal. They're giving favor to the consumers to venture into that kind of investment. And
Did you venture during the pandemic?
I did, because that was a perfect time. And my age during that time was perfect. It's a long-term investment, so the timing is enough. But there was a fear. And the fear was, will I be able to continue paying for the monthly
The number
amortization?
X number, no? How many years? 10?
I mean, the
10
down
plus?
payment during that time, I mean, typically it's at 30%, but developers would actually reduce it to 20 to 15% during the time. And imagine that 15%, there's already a concern on how am I be able to finance that down payment, which is still true until now. A lot of Filipino consumers would tend to lose their property investment because they're not anymore able to pay it, and they imagine they will just get 50% of what they have paid for if they're able to if they fail to pay it.
Is there a certain age that you recommend to start building their real estate property? Or is it, I mean, it doesn't follow what age as long as you are already ready for the down payment?
Well, in my case, in my story, I would really recommend our fellow Filipino, especially the younger generation, to actually learn first the tools of the trade of a particular investment they want to venture, like real estate, gold, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. No? So they have to learn first the ins and out, the tools of the trade, before they venture into it.
And in particularly in real estate, is there a particular age ideal for acquiring it? Because you mentioned about the number of payments that you're gonna get married. Some people would have kids. So what do you think is the ideal when it comes to acquiring a property?
Well, I'm not sure regarding the specific
Yeah,
age.
in your case, like you think you computed it.
I did compute it.
So when you computed it, are you at your 20s during the time? So and then you see fit, okay, pwede na. That's how that, and you think that's ideal for you. So in that line of like what age range?
Well, I was in my 30 during the time. And the thing is about age, we're asking about age. For me, it's actually about whether you are really mature enough for the discipline to be able to
Yes.
prioritize paying for that amortization in your investment in real estate. Because most of the time, okay, the amortization is quite affordable, it's manageable, but then here comes the other expenditures that we are not expecting. And if the discipline there is not yet there, then you might be, the investment might be sacrificed.
And when it comes to like income cash flow coming in, how do you identify what's best for you to start with in terms of ROI and in terms of like reinvesting it again? How do you choose your opportunity?
Okay. Opportunity selection. Well, in my case, my story, I actually started with, well, in reality, I started with a risky venture. But I would really recommend people to start playing around with the less risky.
Which is, for you is?
For me, the less risky would be government bonds.
Okay, still, it's not yet outdated. For kids, like for young Filipinos.
For young workers.
Young workers.
Who just entered their employment, the labor force. So I would suggest that they begin with the less risky until they get the hang of investing, losing money and gaining money. And then they can now venture strongly on the riskier asset.
And how do you manage your lifestyle creep? Because especially as your career grow, you also meet people, you also socialize. How do you manage that lifestyle, like to make sure that the curve, the bell curve is intact with the one that you're receiving, the one that you're spending?
Well, lifestyle creep, that's again another dangerous activity. while I'm not saying that I am not a victim
Yes.
of lifestyle
Yes.
creep, I learned that in inflating your lifestyle, you also have to look into inflating your savings, your investments, inflating something that will be productive. Of course, nobody is stopping us from inflating, of experiencing the
Of
good
course.
things that life has to offer. But then we also have to be prudent and have a vision of where we want to be in the future.
Yeah, and with a background in policy and research, what do you actually invest in? I mean, give us your real portfolio mix.
My portfolio mix, as of now, I am really fond of real investment. When I say real, they're tangible,
Okay.
like property and
Gold.
gold. No? Not that much. I'm not a monetary authority to stock that much. But then there's a reason why.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, because there's a change. It's kind of volatile. The prices change, but for me they are relatively stable. And because I have to also characterize myself, because I am a long-term investor. I
Yes.
am not a day trader, and since I am a long-term investor, I have my planning horizon is quite long. So even if there's a dip in the price of this, it doesn't matter. Because I'm a long-term investor, the market will recover, the market will correct itself, and it will go back to its actual price.
So you mentioned about long-term investor. How do you see long-term wealth building for your own generation?
Well, for millennials and Gen Z, it has changed. Now, our definition of wealth has actually changed in this generation, because wealth now can come in the form of something tangible like properties,
Yes.
jewelries, gold. But then wealth, for the young gen, they also consider experiences to be part of their wealth, even network, connection.
There's a new definition.
There's really a new definition that it cannot be outrightly quantified into monetary terms.
In a person, if you're gonna advise someone in their 30s that has not built their wealth yet, what is the best piece of advice that you can give in order to when to start or how to start it?
I will echo a typical investor's motto. The best time to invest was yesterday. The second best time to invest is today. Because prices are changing. And one more thing. Value is more expensive than price. We see things to be very expensive. This investment would require me a huge monetary outlay. But then you should also consider the value that it will generate to you in the future.
Nice. So we play a little game here, rapid fire. JP, so first thing comes to mind, theory or practice?
A mix of both.
Okay, cash or digital wallet?
Cash, because cash is king.
Okay, diversify or concentrate?
Diversify.
Local stocks or global funds?
A mix of both.
Save first or invest first?
Study first.
Travel or gadgets?
Travel.
Long-term plan or spontaneous decisions?
A mix of
Okay.
both.
So I didn't know if I've already asked you this, but right now at your state, money follows you when blank.
Money follows you when you're not tight with money.
And last but not the least, this is our traditional question. The money is the root of all blank for you.
Money is the root of all opportunities.
Thank you so much, JP, for
Thank you.
Your insights. And this time, this is something personal journey, and I hope that a lot of viewers can also relate and apply it to their own lives. Today we didn't talk about markets. We talked about mindset. Growing up around money shapes us. Our first paycheck teaches us, and the habits we build in our 30s can define the rest of our financial life. And as Warren Buffett reminded us, do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. Today, we learned that money isn't just about numbers, it's about habit, discipline, and the stories we carry from our first paycheck to our future years. John Paolo Rivera, Senior Research Fellow at PIDS, showed us how mindset shapes spending, how lifestyle creep can be managed, and how investing in our 30s sets the foundation for security in our 40s and beyond. I'm China Barachina. Stay curious, stay sharp, and always follow the money.